I'm just gonna go right in with
Yeah.
the big question. What can you tell us about Supergirl and the person we first meet as Alex?
Josie can tell you about Supergirl. Brennan can tell you about Alex.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got to write the episode that introduces her, which is fun. Yeah, I'll try not to get into spoiler territory, but I think we like every character we've worked on in the show, the core of her stays the same, but we're putting some twists on her and her background and some twists in who she is and how she relates to Clark. Like, everything for us is about the character. And I think the other thing that is exciting about Supergirl is you're going to get to see her play against all three characters and have very different dynamics with Lois, Jimmy, and Clark. Some fun, some not, some terrifying. It's just all over the place. So yeah, I'm excited for people to see her.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry,
Oh,
go
Well,
on.
go for
I was
Brendan.
just going to talk about Alex slash Lex, but yeah, basically, yeah, that's Lex. You guys got it.
Yeah,
So he's Alex in season 1 because they told us we couldn't put Lex Luthor in
Yeah.
the show. And then Brendan was like, we're going to write this character named Alex, and he's going to be Ivo's assistant. And then he's going
Yeah,
to
red
have an
hair.
angry rant about Superman later on. And it's us in the room being like, is this Lex Luthor? And then our executives being like, is this Lex Luthor? And when Brendan would just go, do you want him to be? And he got away with it.
yeah.
He got past the Lex Luthor ban with Alex and got Lex Luthor grandfathered into season 2.
You gotta have
Yes.
Lex.
Nice. Well, does the upcoming Superman movie add any limitations to the characters you're allowed to use?
No, we were done with production. I think
Yeah.
like we were wrapping up production as that movie was announced.
Yeah.
And so it does nothing but increase the glory of Superman.
Yeah.
Uh, and his renown and his triumphs known the world over. So we're just stoked about the movie, and it was
Yeah.
very serendipitous. Like we didn't like if we had stepped on its toes, we would have been Omega sanctioned already.
Yeah.
So the movie's got its own stuff going on. And it was just very serendipitous that we didn't edge in on any of its territory, and that both those things can help bring more attention to each other.
But there's still hope for like seasons 3 or 4 beyond, right?
The S stands for hope.
Yeah. So
It's
everybody
all-
watch the season. More people watch the show.
well, parents and where you come from seem to be themes in the first 2 episodes of season 2. Can you talk about what we're going to see from Jor-El and the General?
Um,
We're going to be deepening those relationships. I think, the parents and where you come from is continuing to be a theme, especially for Lois and Clark. And we've got some really good character centric episodes, especially for Lois coming up, that really dig more into that question of nature versus nurture, like where you come from versus who you want to be, and the fact that where you come from can often complicate who you want to be and sometimes be a barrier and obstacle. So the more flippant answer was we did like a slideshow presentation of what the season is going to be for the artists and the crew, and just the slide for parents was just bad dads and variations of different dads and your problems with dads. But yeah, the identity is tied up in family, and so that is a theme that we are going to be exploring very much in season 2.
and the fun with Jarrell and General Lane and some of the other dads that we're going to meet is your parents are the people that you think you know best in all the world, but you don't even call them by their name.
Yeah.
Right. You're not even familiar with their like basic everyday identity. So both Clark and Lois, as they go through the season, are going to discover like more complexities about who their parents are. And we're going to have a constantly changing and updating narrative about who these people were and what they did and how we should feel about them. And to Josie's earlier point, like ultimately, that's a story you have to then rewrite for yourself. Everybody has to rewrite their parents' story, and
Yeah.
it's like one that you can live with, or it's one that justifies not living with them. But everyone has to eventually write the story of themselves and write the story of their family.
And when a season is broken, do you have a list of characters that you would or would not like to use in a given season?
We always start with a bigger list than what we can do. Like we
Yeah.
start with the biggest list of
Yeah.
everything we want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
then
like, yeah. Oh, I was gonna say we always start with a big blue sky brainstorm, and we're like this, and this, and then we're like, okay, we have 10 episodes.
Yeah, 10
So,
episodes.
what can we fit in?
We start with a 24 episode season, and then we narrow it down to 10, really.
Yeah.
And it's tragic and it's
Yeah.
hateful. And hopefully one day we'll get to use the dinosaur people.
Ugh, the Subtyrannosauri.
Subtyrannosauri from
From
All-Star
All-Star
Superman.
Superman.
They
Superman.
show up in like the mood board for every season, and they always
lose.
become extinct, if you will.
Ha, good one.
Were you surprised that you were allowed to use certain characters like Slade Wilson?
Surprise?
I was surprised.
No.
I was surprised by what they let us do to these
Yeah.
characters.
Yes.
Like we reinterpreted people pretty broadly, and DC and Warner were like really supportive of that. I was surprised that genuinely surprised that Brendan got away with Lex Luthor, because we were told in no uncertain terms that we could not do that.
Like
And-
Brendan basically like softened our executives up with every Alex episode until it was truly an Inception level heist to get Lex in the show.
Yeah, by the beginning of season 2, like they were into it. They were
Yeah.
into the game that he was playing. So that kind of stuff has surprised me.
Yeah.
And I've been surprised at the leeway we've been given to kind of reimagine or refit these characters into the My Adventures universe.
Has there ever been a temptation to get any legacy actors from the world of Superman on? Like, for example, Michael Rosenbaum was the voice of the Flash for a long time, and he was Lex Luthor for 10
Yeah.
years.
Yes.
There was a lot of people were like, could we get this person? And it was, oh, we were an animated show, so we don't have quite the budget. Like, I think I said in a different interview, I'd love to have Terry Hatcher somehow show up in this universe.
Yeah, it's kind of a two-edged sword, because on the one hand, like we'd love to stunt cast, but we are very poor. And so it's always like we have voices at home, but the voices we have at home are really flexible people who are used to playing multiple characters and have incredible range. So now that we've cast, I wouldn't trade anybody out.
Yeah.
Like everybody's incredible. They do unbelievable jobs. Like it is every version of the character that a new actor brings is like a privilege to
Yes.
enjoy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad about how it worked out, but we did start with big dumb stunt casting dreams.
And for my final question, what excites you the most for fans to see in season 2 that you're allowed to talk about?
Oh,
Allowed
Krypton.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Krypton is coming, and it's gonna be weird.
Brainiac.
Brainiac,
Mhm.
Supergirl.
Yeah. Learn a little bit more about the Kryptonian Empire and what Krypton wants to be and sees itself as. It's coming.
And then like emotionally as a storyteller, what I'm most excited about is in season 1 we punished Clark a lot, and had the other characters kind of like help him out of it. In
Mhm.
season 2, no one is spared, everyone is punished. The hammer falls on everyone, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see fans grieve, to hear their screams, their lamentations as the
Yeah.
world burns down around them.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Your show is wonderful for all ages. I mean, I'm old and I love the show. So
Hey, we're old and we're so
Yeah.
flattered. Thank you.
Thank you.
have a great day. Thank you
You
again.
too.
Again,
Bye.
Bye.